The Scorpion ADF 9000 is the brand new touring adventure motorcycle helmet from the brand Scorpion. This off-road motorcycle helmet joins Scorpion's list of off-road helmets alongside the Scorpion ADX2. And today we're going to see how well this motorcycle helmet performs out on the road. Hi everyone, Team of Champion Helmets here and welcome to our channel. And in front of me I have the new ADF 9000 from Scorpion. This helmet is tested according to the new strict ECE 2206 certification and is suitable for the real adventure rider. The Scorpion ADF 9000 is available in sizes XS up to and 3XXL and has a recommended retail price of about €400 or $400. Because of this price, the Scorpion helmet will compete with the Shoei Hornet ADV, Arai 2X4, Klimkios Pro, Schubert E1 and the AGV AX9. We're going to start the review in the studio with the material part. The Scorpion ADF 9000 is made of fiberglass and comes in 3 outer shell sizes. The number of 3 outer shell sizes is good because the more outer shell size a helmet has, the better. A helmet with more shell sizes looks more compact and is also safer. This earns the Scorpion ADF 9000 3 stars for the component material. If we're going to compare this with its competitors, we see that the motorcycle helmet from Scorpion scores well. It has earned the same score as the Klimkios Pro and the AGV AX9. Only the 2X4 and the Hornet ADV score better because they have more outer shell sizes. Now that we have discussed the material, we will move on to the weight. And when we weigh the Scorpion ADF 9000 in a size L, the scale showed 1591 grams, which it earns 4 stars for the weight. If we start comparing this result to its competitors, we see that it scores really high and has an equal score with the Shoei Hornet ADV and the AGV AX9, which are around the same weight. Only the Klimkios Pro does better with a weight of 1300 grams. And now that we've had the material and the weight, let's look at the visor of the ADF 9000. Before we look at the results of the road test, we're going to discuss the visor. The Scorpion ADF 9000 visor is a large visor and therefore offers a wide field of view while riding. This visor is anti-scratch prepared and is prepared for a pinlock lens. The helmet comes with a Pinlock Max Vision lens in the box. This pinlock lens ensures that the visor does not fuck up while riding. Additionally, we see an integrated sun visor, which is easy to operate and is anti-fog prepared. This sun visor can only be set in 2 positions, which is open and closed. You also get a free smoke visor in the box with the ADF 9000, which is definitely a plus and gives the helmet an entirely different look. You don't see this much and it's a really nice bonus. If we add it all up, we see that the helmet scores 4.5 stars for the visor. If we compare this with its more expensive competitors, we see that it comes out on top of the list along with the Schubert E1 and is closely followed by the Hornet ADV, 2X4 and the Klimkios Pro. So nicely done by the ADF 9000. And now that we are done with the review in the studio, let's start with the road test. Before we start the road test, let's have a quick reminder about how we collect our data. On the left side you see a white thermometer that shows the inside temperature of the helmet. This is connected to a sensor in the helmet. Above in the middle you see the decibel meter. This is connected to a microphone that is placed near our rider's ear. This captures the sound as our rider hears it. On the right we see a phone that displays the wind speed and the outside temperature. This is connected to a wind meter mounted on our bike. In the middle you see the dashboard of the bike showing the riding speed of our test rider. Now with that out of the way, let's start with the noise isolation. When testing the ADF 9000, our test rider had an average speed of 130 km an hour with a wind speed of about 120 km an hour. The decibel meter gave us an average value of 98 decibel, which is an exceptionally good result. With this result it even comes close to the quietest helmets available today. This earns the motorcycle helmet 4.5 stars for noise isolation. And we're going to compare this with its competitors. Here again we see that the ADF comes out on top along with the Klimkios Pro as the quietest adventure helmet ever tested by us. The Klimkios Pro was as quiet as the ADF 9000. The other helmets also did well, averaging around 102 decibels. Now that we are done with the noise isolation, we'll move on to the ventilation. And we'll first look at the ventilation options. On the chin there is an adjustable vent that you can open and close and even take off completely. On the left and right side of this vent are 4 vents that you can close and open on the inside of the helmet as well. On top of the helmet you have 2 vents which you can easily operate by means of sliding buttons. All warm air can then escape through the spoiler at the back. But how well does it perform on the road? When we tested the helmet on the road outside, the temperature was 21.5 degrees Celsius and as you can see on the thermometer it was 29.8 degrees Celsius inside the helmet, which is a big difference. You often see when helmets are very quiet it influences the ventilation and the other way around. On this part the ADF scores weak and because of this result the helmet earns 1 star. But how did its competitors do? Despite this result, it earned as many stars as the Hornet ADV and the AGV AX9. The Tourex4, Schubert E1 and the Klimcurious Pro were the best on ventilation part and earned 4 stars. We continue with the comfort of the ADF 9000. For the comfort part we lean on the more than 15 years of riding experience of our test rider, who also tested all the other helmets and thus can make the comparison like no other. Our test rider found the ADF 9000 inner lining, which is a quick inner lining to feel comfortable. This quick inner lining is removable, washable and is moisture wicking. In addition, our test rider had no trouble with the peak while riding. The wind was barely pulling the peak on the highway. The helmet felt comfortable. When we add all this up, the ADF 9000 deserves 3 stars for this. If we compare this to its competitors, we see that it scores okay. The AX9 did weaker on this part and the other helmets earned more stars on this, with the Hornet ADV and the Tourex4 and the Klimcurious Pro standing out. Despite not earning the most stars, the ADF 9000 scored reasonably well. We're going to start with the last part of this review, and that is the futures. The ADF 9000 is, as I mentioned at the beginning of the review, ECE 2206 approved, which is mandatory for new helmets nowadays. The helmet's liner is glasses friendly. The inner lining has some space so that riders can easily take their glasses on and off. The ADF 9000 is also prepared for a communication system with built-in speaker pockets. These are 2 cutouts in the EPS inner shell, in which the speakers of a communication system can be mounted. Scorpion has also placed the AirFit system in the ADF 9000. When you push the red button inside the helmet at the chin, the cheek pads inflate and to give you a tight fit. Also, the ADF 9000 has a quick release, which is a nice feature. In case of an incident, the helmet can be easily removed from the head. And the helmet has also a double D closure. This earns the Scorpion ADF 9000 3 stars for the futures. If we compare this with the other helmets, we see that it scores well again. The Hornet ADV, Tourex4 and the E1 from Schubert do as well as the Scorpion ADF 9000. The Klimcurious Pro and the AGV AX9 finish just below these helmets with 2 stars and 1.5 stars. If we start looking at the total overview, we see that the ADF 9000 from Scorpion deserves 3.5 stars for the material part because it is made of fiberglass and comes in 3 Audi shell sizes. The helmet weighs 1591 grams and earns 4 stars for weight. Among other things, the Max Vision Pinlock and Extra Dark Smoke Visor earns it 4.5 stars for the visor, and with a great result of 98 decibel it earns 4.5 stars for the noise isolation. Because the temperature was 8 degrees warmer inside the helmet deserves only 1 star for ventilation. For comfort 3 stars and futures 3 stars. If you add all the stars up, the Scorpion ADF 9000 has an average of 3.4 stars and you pay €17 per earned star. Would you like to know more about the Scorpion ADF 9000? Then be sure to take a look in our webshop, championhelmets.com, where we always offer the lowest price guarantee and have great discount bundles. Also, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more road tests, reviews and guides. My name is Simon from Champion Helmets. Thank you for watching and hopefully until next time.